concerns, but that's in game.
Sure. Welcome to D&D5E actual play Dawn Agreement. I am APGamingREAL. That is to say, I am the real AP Gaming, not AP Gaming, the CSGO champion, nor am I A/P Gaming, the knife tricks guy, or A Space P, Space Gaming, who I don't know what he does. I just Googled my own name and I saw that he existed. So I don't know. Maybe you'll find out and tell me in the comment section, chat. You know, when I made my name, I thought it was pretty unique, but having over 100 people competing for the AP Gaming tag has made me wonder if I need to fucking rebrand after 7 years. Anyway, I'm going on a real long digression. We're back with the book of Shahbaz, chapter 2. Shahbaz, if I'm recalling, you traveled upriver after solving chicken math, and then use your ranger techniques to keep 2 wolves from eating you. You then asked about the I wouldn't call it a town. A village would be a strong word for Fairhold. Maybe it's like what are the ones below village? A hamlet? A thorp? I don't know. Thorp is, sure. I mean, no, we're not using the word thorp, right? You never conversationally heard the word thorp come up. You've heard hamlet, though.
I've heard it as a name, but that's about it.
Thorpe? You know someone named
Jim Thorpe? Jim Thorpe is a famous football player.
All right, I don't know who that is. You're the sports guy, not me.
Yep.
The only sports I'm interested in have to be played with a controller.
Or dice.
And are fictional. And it's called Blitzball. Wow, I'm so derailed already. You were asking at the end of the last session, were there any, like, town guardsmen? The answer to that question is no. So you arrive through the mountains back ways, and as you come around a large rock outcropping, you get to see this village of, let's call it Hamlet of Fairhold. It is mostly human, just to be clear. Like, you don't see any non-humans, although certainly they could exist.
That's been a trend.
Yeah. I mean, everyone chose to start in the human. There was a whole adventure that was like, go to the Elven land and bring back the seed of the world tree. And everyone was like, nah, bro. You know what I want to do? Kill bandits. I was like, would you like to go on a spiritual journey? And Spoon was like, you know what I like? Great swords. So that's where we are. The village.
Everyone takes their own spiritual journeys.
Hamlet of Fairhold. I got to get myself into the habit of saying Hamlet. You can see that there is a mine where miners are currently like digging material out. They don't exactly have mine carts in the way that we would think of it, like large iron structures that you can fit tons of stuff in. They have wooden carts that they pull via a system of rope pulleys and oxen that are bringing materials up. And it looks like they process it here in town and then dump the remains into the local lake. So you can already see that going down. Like, there is some sort of materials processing facility that seems to be the heart of the town. Like, everyone appears to move towards or away from this building. There's the ever-present separated fields. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about. I'm probably not describing it that well, but you know, like the acreage is marked off by like a single line of trees or like a line of grass, and then you've got like different crops in each one of them. It's all like a patchwork. None of the acreages are the same size. You know, for someone who spends so much time farming, you think I would know more about the terminology. Silage, guys. I know what that is. Every farmer that's watching this just left. I feel bad for them. They had to endure this punishment. There doesn't appear to be anything like a town guard. And looking around, you can see why. I mean, you're walking down one of 2 paths that come into this place, and it is not as if there are any visitors here. Like, there's no wagons, there's no carts beyond what is being used to move goods around internally in the town. There is simply a hamlet, a sleepy hamlet, I would say, working for itself. People notice you. Some of them seem surprised, as if they've never seen a tabaxi before, but then they just nod and get back to work.
Do I see any children wandering around?
There are children wandering around. Your question concerns me, but I'll allow it.
After what happened at Pinehold, he's going to tuck his tail into his clothes and wrap it around his leg so that the kids can't grab it.
Oh, so many jokes that I'm just going to let pass. I'm just going to let that one go. The children... Oh, yeah, I'm probably going to do it like this. So they say that when the conquistadors arrived in Central and South America, that the inhabitants literally could not process the size of the ships. And they couldn't understand what they were looking at. When these kids look at you, they have literally never seen a cat person in their entire life. And saying cat person is actually kind of demeaning because tabaxi are more than just cat people. But yes, they have never seen or even conceptualized a tabaxi before. So they neither run away nor run towards you. Instead, they are literally struck dumb looking at you. You do notice as you're taking a closer look at these kids, there are a ton of cats in town.
Ton of actual cats. Okay.
Yes, real cats, not tabaxi.
Okay.
I mean, look, I know everybody wants to be a cat because the cat is where it's at, but not everyone can play a tabaxi if their GM doesn't allow it in the campaign.
Should have bought some cat ears for this.
Listen, I have cat ears. You want to borrow them?
So do I.
We should do that thing where I pick them up and then I hand them to you, but we don't have the same cat ears because I have the Yaya Han cat ears. So
I have to go get them from my other bedroom too.
No, we're good. Don't do it. Don't do it. We're better off without it. What do you do? You're like absorbing this. Everything I just told you, you take in like the course of 2 seconds.
Do I see anything that looks like an important building, like a mayor's residence or an inn?
So certainly the processing facility is 2 stories tall, and you can see a continuous stream of smoke, and it definitely smells. It smells horrible, especially for someone with a sensitive nose like a tabaxi. That said, there is... I wouldn't call it an inn. I would barely even call it a tavern. It's more like a community center with a bar. And there is someone, it is a woman in her 40s. She looks like she's a little overweight, but she's got like big arms that indicate that not only is there a layer of fat there, but also that she's kind of strong just to begin with. She's definitely got the experienced bartender who doesn't want to put up with your shit anymore because it's 2 a.m. and you should just go the fuck home because it's last call vibe as she's approaching you.
I will wave my hands. Hello.
She brushes some like flour off of her apron and says, "You came a hard path, traveler."
I am on a journey.
Not many journeys take one through Fairhold, especially not through the Back Mountain Pass. I am Fern, the headswoman of this village.
Fern, nice to meet you. My name is Shahbaz.
Can I ask what your business here is, Shahbaz?
I have heard of unnaturally consistent natural disasters, and I have come to investigate the issue.
She nods her head and says, I'll be honest. One of our neighbors sent that regard some months ago. I didn't expect we'd hear anything about it. I'll admit there has been more than a bit of bad luck around here. I don't believe that there's anything sinister about it. But if you have come, you are welcome to stay.
Well, if there's nothing sinister, then I don't expect to be here long.
Well,
of course, I will be sure to make sure the town is safe from if there is something. That is why I'm here.
Well, we can't just send you away so quickly. I mean, take a quick look around, obviously. Don't want to stop you from doing your job. Who did you say you worked for?
I did not say who I work for.
Who do you work for?
I have been sent here by the Dawn Agreement.
I want to make it really clear that whole exchange, she did not think that was cute. Like, obviously the question was a prompt for you to say it.
I wasn't
you were
trying
like,
to be cute.
I didn't say. Yeah, you're too literal for her. The Dawn Agreement. What is that? Is that a new Carcassian army?
It is as far as I am aware, it is a collective of the different regions in lieu
Carcass.
of the Jubilixian situation. This was created as a defense against future situations as such.
Oh, demon hunters. Okay, all right.
Hopefully there aren't many demons to hunt, so we do odd jobs around to try to help out the entire region of Acas.
Well, no demons here. I think you'll find that all of our disasters here are natural and not natural disasters. They're just a string of bad coincidences. All right. Well, it's hard to tell. You look like you've got a physique, but you're a little scrawny. We've got some mutton stew if you're up for it. We season it with herbs that we have right here in Fairhold. I'll tell you what. Let's get one of our local beers in you. You again. I don't know Tabaxi that well, but you seem like you're a little underweight.
Yeah, I'm pretty normal for a Tabaxi, but I guess for a human, I might look a little slim.
So she takes you into this. I mean, it's like half covered and half not covered, with like a cloth pull down, so that one whole wall of it is just cloth that can be pulled up or down depending on whether people want to do something outside. And there's like, what's the game? Cornhole? Is that the game where you throw the beans in the bag?
A kind of boards with a hole in the middle.
Yep,
yeah,
exactly. Darts, even a little archery set, just in case people want to get drunk and do some archery. And I know that sounds terrifying, but I just saw a bar set up in my town that has that premise, and I thought, boy, I don't know what the rules of archery are, but if they're even remotely similar to the laws for operating firearms, this is a terrible idea. But that said, here we are. There's an archery set here. She sits you down at the bar, pours you like a huge beer stein filled with a dark, murky liquid that smells kind of like milk, actually, and sets a bowl of... It is mutton stew, but it's also got like a lot of root vegetables. The vegetables seem kind of old. You know what I mean? Like, this is not fresh. The stew's fresh. These vegetables are, carrots, onions, potatoes, kind of iffy looking. But it does have a nice seasoning to it that gives it an almost curry-like smell.
Sounds good.
Yeah, it's that thick soup. It's like
except for the beer that smells like milk. That's kind of different.
You never had Kahlua before?
I don't drink.
Ah, there we go. Trust me, you can get alcohols that smell like anything if you're willing to pay. If you want alcohol that smells like alcohol, that's cheap. Man, how did I attract so many non-drinkers to my casts? It's crazy. It's just, listen, I'm not against it. It's just like a statistical improbability. I don't know.
I guess it just happens that way.
Yeah, it did just happen. I know it. There's the chances of it happening are 1 because it just happened.
Then anyway, Baz will try the stew.
I mean, look, those vegetables. It's a good thing that they were boiled for a while. That's all I'm saying. They're tender-ish now. Listen, the seasoning is amazing, and there's just enough fat in that stew to give it a flavor without it being too greasy. It is basically like a curry soup.
Okay. And then he'll look over. You said the woman's name was
Fern.
Fern, like the tree.
Yes. It's a plant, actually, but...
No. Isn't it a fern tree? Or is that some different kind of tree I'm thinking of?
I think it's a different kind of tree. I mean, fern is a green plant on the ground. There is such a thing called a fern tree. You are correct.
I will, after tasting the stew, I'll look at her and say, it tastes wonderful.
Yeah, it does.
I appreciate it.
But she smiles when she says that. Like, there's a massive amount of arrogance to it, but she's like, all right, okay, I can accept the compliment.
Do you mind if I eat and talk?
Sure.
As I said, I've come regarding the natural disasters. Do you think they've been?
I just want to imagine that between every breath, you're just... You said you're going to eat and talk, and now I just can't see anything but an idle looping animation. Keep going.
The voice, you have the animation, the voice is coming out nonstop, like he's literally eating and talking at the same time. Like I said, I came here to investigate the natural disasters. Do you feel like they have occurred at an excessive rate recently?
No. I mean, several weeks ago, there was a landslide that wiped out the path to the village, to the hamlet. A couple of animals have gone missing. Some of the oxen that help with the mines. And about 2 weeks ago, a yak tapir drowned in the lake out there. We didn't find him until morning. There are some who say that this is the work of the spirit of the mountain, but that's just nonsense.
Now, has this been occurring in a fairly condensed area of the mountains, or is it the entire area
just
around
everywhere across the hand? I mean, it's only 3 events.
Okay.
She goes into a math lesson indicating you can't form a line until you have 3 points, and
okay. And I guess I should ask before anything else is, do you know of a place where I could stay in the village?
oh, listen, we'll get you a cot here. You can stay here.
Oh, I appreciate
We don't really have spare rooms, you know. When someone decides
Not really
to
a
get
tourist
married,
town, so that makes
we
sense.
make them a new house. Yeah. Not a tourist town at all. Actually, we really haven't had any visitors in the last 5 years. Very rare.
It doesn't seem like the most natural place to just come across, so that makes total sense to me.
Well, listen.
I'm glad I could
The
come.
only time people came here is when they were collecting taxes. So we've made sure to pay our iron tax as regularly as possible. But all the stuff in the east, Jubilix, the war, the drought, none of that's affected us here now. It has bit into our food supply. Of course, we don't make enough here with the drought to feed ourselves. But fortunately, we had set aside 7 years worth of food in the cellars in the mountain. And we're just getting by on that while we wait for the new crops to grow in. You know, harvesting was just a couple of weeks ago.
Well, maybe I can pass word along to somebody that might be able to help you with that.
Sorry, I said harvesting. What I meant was planting. Oh, you know someone, a druid perhaps?
Well, I don't know one personally, but I'm sure there's one in the Dawn Agreement that can come lend aid after I have departed.
There is some druid in the Dawn Agreement who's right now thinking, man, what I really want is a mission that will make me lots of money. I can't wait to invoice some poor suckers. No druid would ever say that. Well, like an urban druid might actually.
Besides, I do contract work. I can help establish a contract.
Contracts. All right, listen. This woman has had some expressions, but here and now, you can tell that she's incredibly disappointed by what you just said. Now, look here. I'm sorry, I didn't catch your name.
You can call me Baz.
Baz. Look, I understand that when you live in a big city like Kark or First Landing, you might need something down on paper. But around here, we trust our neighbors at their word. We don't need some fancy barrister coming in from afar and writing things down for us. We know what we are owed. I know what I have. That's what she says. It's just this one of the meme phrases I keep around.
I'll be sure to keep that in mind. You said there was a particular person that made contact with the Dawn Agreement. Do you know where I might find that person?
Yeah, the head of the miners, Stark. I think you'll find him at the mine. Yes.
Okay. I will finish eating, and I will ask if she needs any currency for the food.
Someone rushes in at that moment.
Okay.
And begins saying something to her very quiet, like whisperedly. At first, they looked like they were going to shout it, but then they saw that you were there. And they went from running to like power walking. And instead of yelling, they were. What's your passive perception?
A perception? 14.
Oh, yes. 13? All right, make a perception check. You're going to need it.
It's the wrong.
All these players always eavesdropping on random NPCs.
That's I got 22.
Like 22? What do you think you're doing around here? You think you can just roll 22s? All right. You hear him lean in and say, Fern, there's been a problem. We were checking on the Jacobs place last night. His home burned down with him inside of it. Looks like the storms last night, lightning strike hit him. And, you know, like, they're both nodding, and they begin talking about how they're going to set up a funeral and like, figuring out who to contact in what order to resolve the manner of this man's death.
The entire time I'm just sitting there finishing off the food, acting like I have no idea what's going on. I'm not reacting to the news of someone dying.
It's like when you know just enough Mandarin Chinese to listen in when you're making your order at a Chinese place. Yes. They have an intense conversation for about 3 minutes that involves a lot of esoteric, like, we need to contact his family first and make sure that they get to, you know, his stuff, like what's burned down, how much of it's burned down. Do we have enough time to pull people from the mines to hold the ceremony? That kind of deal. The end of it is she says, all right, make sure you contact Zwilling. Make sure she comes into town.
Zwilling?
And Zwilling, yeah. And the guy goes, ah, shit. She says, well, someone's got to do it. You're the bearer of bad news. So he makes a sign of the evil eye and then spits on the floor. And she goes, don't spit on my God's damn floor. I apologize, Shahbaz. Sorry, you only told her your name was Baz. I apologize, Mr. Baz. I don't normally use language like that around here. There's been a death. Another natural disaster, as it were. Yeah, there was a freak rainstorm last night directly over the hamlet, and looks like a lightning strike got Jacobs. Look, I heard what you said earlier. You don't owe me anything. You know what, hun? As long as you stay here, we'll take care of you. All right? That's the kind of hamlet that Fairhold is.
What time of day is it?
We might not get a lot of visitors, but we treat them well. We want 5 stars on Yelp.
What time of day is it? I know I traveled through the mountains to get here.
Yeah, it's kind of late, actually, because you did travel through the mountains. I would say It's probably like 6:30 in the evening. That's 1800 for those who operate in military time.
Okay, so I'll look to Fern and I'll go. Well, you said you were going to get a cot ready. I should get out of your way so you can work on that. So I don't want to bother you. I'll go take a look around town.
Sure.
See if anyone wants to chat. Is there like a town mayor or anything?
I mean, I'm like I said, I'm the headswoman. We don't really need a mayor around here, but when someone has to make a decision, they trust me.
Stark fellow are the two people I'm most concerned about.
What do you mean concerned about? Like,
I mean, as far as talking to.
Well, there are.
I mean, no ill intent with that wording.
There are several people around here, that do a lot around the town. Of course, I would say that what I do is very important. What Stark does is very important. Mr. Stern, I think you'll find that he keeps the town running.
Mr. Stern?
Stern, yes. It is the Stern family that owns the mines and the lake here.
Okay. Well, like I said, I'll get out of your way and so you can prepare for things, and I'll come back in a little while. Is there anything you would like me to help with outside? I am more than happy to assist.
No, we wouldn't ask a guest in our house, in our hamlet, to do anything. Please, if you require any assistance, you let us know.
We wouldn't ask a visitor to fix a lifelong family feud.
Yeah, exactly. We definitely don't need any chicken math here. She looks directly at the camera and she says that. Just looking at you.
Well, once the conversation ends, I will head outside, and I'm going to try and see where this burnt house is. As
you start headed towards the burnt house, it's not easy to find at first until you know.
I don't want it to look like I'm approaching it. I just want to kind of know where it is.
Sure,
and kind of
it's not visible
wander
from here,
towards it.
right? Like with the way that the mountains work and the gently rolling hill topography, the farmland, there's no immediate way to know where this house is, but you see people moving in a singular direction instead of working, and you get a pretty good idea that that's where they're going. You're making your way there?
Just kind of absentmindedly wandering in that direction, kind of looking around, seeing if I notice anything.
You do notice something. Someone is wandering around towards you. They're doing an interception course where they're not headed directly towards you. They're headed in a way that makes it seem like they're meandering, but eventually, at some point in the future, they will randomly have crashed into you and be like, oh my.
Can I tell that they're intentionally making it towards me? Or
yeah, you're a ranger. You can tell when somebody is tracking you.
Is there a house nearby I can duck behind and try to stealth?
Absolutely. Make that stealth check.
$18.
It's pretty good. About 2 minutes later, that person goes past the house and is like, obvious looking around, like, huh? Where did he go? Huh.
Then I'll approach him from behind and ask, do you need something from me?
He pivots and turns, and as he does, his hand goes to a belt knife. But when he sees that it's you, he's like half turned, right hand on the belt knife, and then he just stops. And so now he's in this weird power stance where he's like overstretched in multiple directions. He takes a second to compose himself and says, yeah, name's Jaeger.
Jaeger, nice to meet you. My name is Baz.
Yeah, heard about you. Didn't know
your name was Baz. Is there a reason you're looking for me?
Yeah. You're a ranger, right?
I dabble.
Yeah, so do I. You should come with me. We need to talk. Then he looks around and says, actually, he looks around and he says, actually, this is private enough. And he squats down so that he's not standing. And it looks like he expects you to squat down as well.
Okay, I kind of do it like a cat, like sitting. posture.
Oh my god. Are your arms on the ground? Are you doing like a full standing dogeza?
Yeah, I kind of spread my legs apart and put my hands between them on the ground, just kind of staring at him. He's 6'5", so he's probably going a lot lower.
Yeah, this guy's 5'10", so you're towering over him because he's squatting as well. So you're like almost twice as high as him on the ground, and he goes, "All right, let me tell you what I know. I think something's been happening around here. Now, I'm not powerfully in tune with the world around me, not like a ranger like you, but I dabble a bit, and I occasionally hear the voice of nature. I want to tell you, I think that Ferdinand is acting up."
Acting up? What do you mean by that?
Yeah, so this mountain has a powerful spirit. They said it used to be embodied in the form of a gigantic goat. It disappeared after a few hundred years, but my grandfather used to tell me tales about his grandfather trying to hunt it down. One day it just disappeared, but, I think I see it sometimes when I'm out keeping track of the wolves. You know how you take care of wolves around here?
How?
Oh, like he just so you know, he was asking that. What's it called?
And I responded to the question myself.
He is asking rhetorically because he thought that you would know, and he's, we hunt the rabbits and cats that get loose. That's what the wolves eat. So if you make sure that the wolves are starving, they'll go someplace else.
Baz kind of shifts his head a bit when he says hunts the cats.
Look, no offense, these are just normal cats. They're not like you. Are you offended?
Baz doesn't answer. He just stares at him.
I'm going to wait until I get an answer.
Please continue with your story.
I mean, there's not much else to say. There's been a lot of things happening around here. And I think that the spirit of this mountain is waking up again.
And you think Ferdinand is involved or is
I do.
A victim?
No, I think that the great goat, the giant goat, is awake again, and it's punishing us for what we're doing to the mountain. What
the mining,
they're
you
doing
mean?
to the lake. What they're putting in that lake is poisoning it. A few years ago, fish still swam in it. There was a small fishing industry. Now, the fishermen work in the mines. We have to get our
I can see how a
water
mountain
from
spirit
wells.
would feel about that.
Yeah.
So you think Ferdinand is talking to this spirit, awakening this spirit himself, or
No. The spirit's name is Ferdinand.
Oh, I thought Ferdinand was a person you're talking about.
No, Ferdinand.
That's a weird name for a mountain lord.
Maybe I didn't name him. He's just a giant goat spirit.
Looking at the GM, yes, you did name him.
I did name him, yeah. But Jaeger did not name him. Man, we're getting too meta. Get back in the game here. Back in the game, Baz.
Well, I thank you for your information. Is there a location you see Ferdinand quite often? Or
I
have
heard you
reports
came
of
from
him?
the Mountain Pass. That
The Eastern
way.
Pass, right?
Yes, and on the eastern side of the lake, there's a small swamp where the herbalist lives. I see it over there when I'm tracking the rabbits.
And what is this herbalist's name?
Swilling.
It's the second time I've heard such name. Okay. I thank you for your information. Is there anything else you'd like to pass along?
Things have gone missing around the town lately. No one's made any accusations yet, but there's been some quiet muttering under drinks. Mr. Stern's rod of amber has gone missing, and a whole wooden barrel full of bitumen.
You said a rod of amber?
Yep, a rod made of amber.
Okay. Like I said, thank you for your information. I will keep all that in mind. Is there anything else I'd like to do? A few things before the end of the night. Just stay out of harm's way as best you can.
All right, he draws himself back to his full height, and he gazes dramatically towards the setting sun, dipping under the mountains, and he goes, I can't stay out of harm's way. I'm here to protect the land. Then he hefts his bow on his shoulder and marches dramatically into the center of town.
All right, I'm going to stand back up and I'm going to look over to the burnt house and see if there's any animals nearby. Any cats or farm animals?
Make a nature check.
Nature check. Okay. Even 10.
I mean, yeah, there are, like, I don't want to say wild cats, but let's say cats that are owned communally by the whole village. No rabbits here.
No rabbits, okay.
No loose oxen. It's really just like the cats and then anything else you'd expect, like grasshoppers, other insects, birds.
All right, I'm going to move towards one of the cats and cast Speak with Animals.
Okay.
And I'm going to say hello to the cat.
Oh, yeah, man. Welcome to the village. You've been looking a lot like me, brother.
We are a lot alike, but very different at the same time.
Sure, man.
Might I ask you a couple questions real quick?
Cat sits down and licks one of its paws, and in between that, he goes, yeah, you make it worth my time.
Is there anything in particular you would like?
He like looks around conspiratorially to make sure no other cat is looking at me like, you got milk? You got the nip?
I can probably procure you some milk.
I'll wait till you then.
And I will go back to Ferns and ask if she has any milk.
10 minutes. You have 10 minutes.
How far away did I walk?
I don't listen. This house is not close.
It's a small town.
I said it's a small hamlet, and listen, man.
Okay, how far away is Ferns?
When you're on foot, a 10-mile wide town is a pretty wide town.
Okay, instead of walking there, I'm gonna say,
you jog.
Would you mind walking?
Oh yeah.
Would you mind walking with me to get there?
Yeah. He will. All right. His tail is snapping back and forth in anticipation of getting that sweet, sweet human distilled milk.
While we're walking there, I'm gonna say, you probably have a better view of this town than the humans do. You probably see more of what's going on. Is there anything weird happening?
Yeah, I don't know that I see anything more, but I definitely have my nose to the ground.
And you don't think anything weird is going on?
Oh, plenty of weird stuff being going around, man. Been smelling things all the time.
Smelling? Like what?
Yeah. Yeah, man. I mean, I've been smelling a goat. For some reason, all them wolves be gone. The rabbit's been drying up too. And, you know, there's that, man, what would he say in cat that would mean ozone? All right. There is a word in cat and tabaxi for ozone that is probably several words strung together. I don't know what it is, but he says it. He basically indicates He's just like, this is like the lightning that happened last night was not unique, and he's been smelling it way more often than he should be.
You mentioned a goat. A young man just told me there was a goat spirit around here.
Look, I don't know about any spirits. I'm just a cat. But I've been smelling goat from time to time. And ain't no filthy hoof around here that I don't know.
Are goats an unnatural animal, then? For you to smell?
I ain't smelled a goat until I smelled a goat.
So I'll take that as a yes.
I mean, look, goats are definitely a natural animal, man. It says so in the monster manual. But what I'm telling you is, ain't no goats been around here. Look, I'm never not meta.
Well, that's allowed. You're the GM, I guess.
It's not allowed. I shouldn't be doing it. I do it because I can't stop memeing. Oh.
So do you think this is just a natural change of how it's going on, or do you think there's something?
Nah, man. Too much is happening around here. Nothing happened here when I was a kid. Now things are happening all the time over the last few weeks. Not that I know how to divide time because I'm a cat. Oh, you know what he says? In the last 2 moon cycles. Because cats are nocturnal. Yeah.
And is there a specific place you smell this goat quite often?
Oh, everywhere. I smell it all the time.
Helpful.
Never seen it, though.
Never seen it.
I've been talking a lot. Where that milk?
How close are we to Ferns?
Let's say you're right there.
It's right through this door.
All right. Do you actually get him a small saucer of milk?
If Fern will allow it.
Yeah. So she's like, well, we don't normally give the cats milk, but you know, if you really need one, I guess we can. Now, do you still talk to the cat while Fern is there?
I don't see why not. I don't care if she thinks I'm
because
weird.
I just want to know that what you're saying is not, you know, words. You're like meow, 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 meow.
I'll just think she's seeing a cat talk to a cat.
Yeah, that's exactly what's happening here. All right, she looks dumbfounded as if she's never seen anything like this in all her days. Yeah, the cat is greedily drinking at that milk.
Now, I guess I'll
hitting that sauce or
running out of questions because we
that's
seem
good
to
because
go
you're also
nowhere
running
with
out of
these.
time.
We seem to go nowhere with the questioning. Everyone says it's everywhere, so it doesn't help me. And I guess probably getting close to 7:30 now, so I'll finish up with the cat, send it on its way, see if Fern has finished setting up the cot.
Yep. She invites you if you'd like to join the service tonight. It will be performed in honor of Kark for the passing of Jacobs, but
what time is the service?
midnight.
Midnight?
Yep.
I can stop by. I don't want to get in anyone's way. This is your town, not mine. But I can be sure to oversee it and
She puts an arm around your shoulder and says,
your worship.
when you're here, you're family.
Would you mind if I have some alone time in the cot?
Oh, Lawson.
I don't know why you're laughing.
Listen, there's going to be Zonalar fan art, okay?
Let it play out, and then we'll get rid of that fan art.
Just do it.
I will go up into the cot, and I will, in the first matter of privacy in a while, I will worship Tab.
Tab, yeah.
With song.
All right. I'm going to tell you a secret, and that is that Tab is not a real god. There is no deity called Tab. Tab is just a phenomenon that the Tabaxi believe in.
and I am a tabaxi, so I believe in it.
Yeah. Okay. I'm telling you
So
as
I
a
will,
player.
I will
not...
sing the evening songs of the tab worship. Amore is gonna be happy with you.
Yeah. I'm sure that activated her upstairs.
We hear her running around in a second.
She's gonna want treats immediately after this episode.
I guess there'll be songs about the great glorious Tab who creates the rivers with his tails and all kinds of stupid religious things.
Stupid? Wow. How dare you say that about the great glorious Tab?
For a god without miracles, it has to be a little...
And not all gods have to perform
surprising.
miracles. Look, for the Tabaxi, it's just comforting to know that they can believe in something. They don't... Tab is not a god that has to do things for you. You know? That would be arrogant to ask Tab to do things for you. You believe in Tab because Tab exists.
Baz the character will sing these songs.
Okay. The songs of his people.
Do you want me to roll anything for singing voice?
No.
And then I guess I'll do that for about half an hour, and then I'll head downstairs. And does Fern say anything when I head down?
No. Fern's not here.
Oh, she's gone. She's probably messing with the Jacobs thing. Setting up the funeral.
The funeral.
Yeah, the thing.
The Jacobs thing. Wow.
That thing over there.
Wow. No respect for Jacobs. Give me an F in the comments section for my man Jacobs.
Baz heard a religious funeral and he lost interest.
Oh, that's very cat-like.
He
losing interest in things.
He doesn't vocalize a negativity towards other religions, but he just doesn't care about them, so he doesn't bother.
Okay.
He'll just basically let it happen around him and ignore it. But then I guess he'll head back outside and he'll head over to the Jacobs house, and
people are gathering there for the funeral.
He'll look around and see if there's any sign of a goat.
Make a perception check. Do Tabaxi have night vision? Dark vision?
Yes, I have 60-foot dark vision.
Okay.
1923.
There is no goat, but you do see a jaguar slinking away at the edge of your vision into the mountain's scree. Is that what that?
Jaguar yet?
Yeah, this is. Listen, you don't need to be a ranger to know that the jaguar is not native to the local area.
I've heard wolves and rabbits and goats. Now I have a jaguar.
Forested mountain land, yeah. You forgot cats.
Oh, I already talked to those.
Domestic cats, definitely very useful around here. Why? What are you going to do? You're going to chase this jaguar down?
Does it know that I see it? Or that I'm looking at it?
That's a great question. Let me roll for the jaguars.
Does it know it's being perceived, I guess, is the question.
Yeah, that's a good question. Make an insight check.
Insight?
Yep.
6 on the die is a 10. You did roll as Tavros.
I don't know.
I rolled a 10. You rolled an 8 plus 4.
No, I don't know how I rolled as Tavros. I'm not trying to roll as Tavros. I'm just trying to roll as me. Sorry. How much did you roll?
I rolled a 10. You rolled an 8 on the die.
So busy memeing. All right. The jaguar knows that you know that you're watching it, that it's watching you.
Okay. And am I aware that it knows?
Yes. You look at each other, and it has a sort of intelligence in its eyes as it slinks away into the darkness.
Is it just walking away like normal? Not trying to
it's
rush
slinking,
away or anything?
Slinking. Like it's getting ready to hunt in a direction away from you.
Okay. That doesn't seem abnormal, but its presence is abnormal. Okay. I will head off in this direction, but not get too far out of the town.
Interesting. Roll a nature check for me real quick.
17.
And then make a survival check.
Nine.
Okay, you lose the tracks after a short bit of time, but you do very briefly see a vulture that is also not native to this area flying overhead before disappearing out of your dark vision range. You're just like, what is going on? And all of these different non-local animals in such a short time period.
All right, I will turn around and head back to the town. I guess I'll just kind of, if nothing else happens, I'll wander around looking around until the funeral.
Okay.
Then I will oversee the funeral from a moderate distance, but I'm visible to the people there, so they know I'm attending.
A short woman. She could look like she's halfling if she wasn't so tall for a halfling.
Short woman, but tall. Okay.
Tall for a halfling. Tall for a halfling.
Short, tall. Got it.
Her hair is gray and white, done up into a bun. She is wearing a raiment that makes her look like a fish, more specifically like a Magikarp. So she's got like a Magikarp hoodie and like a dress that's basically like a loose Magikarp cosplay. Everyone, instead of looking at her like she's a crazy person, looks at her very respectfully as she delivers a sermon about the life of Jacobs, about the importance of community, and about how fire is a friend, and that we're never really gone. We're just moving between states. We're transitioning between the way life is and life was. And then she offers a short prayer to the earth that it guide Jacob's spirit to where it should be rather than where it should not be. And as she's saying that, she looks directly towards you, Shahbaz. And that's where we're going to end.
Okay.
Okay. I hope you enjoyed your time investigating and talking to vaguely Jamaican-ish cats.
I was not expecting that accent at all.
It is not the first time I have done animal speech as Jamaican.
Doesn't mean I have to expect it.
Well, what do you think's going on? Is there a curse? Is there the evil here?
It sounds like to me it sounds like a mountain spirit was awakened from a long slumber and is angry that its mountain is being destroyed.
Interesting.
It's hard to tell if there's anything beyond just the natural cycle of a spirit.
All right, give me a second.
I'll do more investigating.
Chat, what do you think's going on? Put your message in the comment section below in order to drive engagement with this video. Like, it's too low. You got to raise it up more. There you go. No, now the screen, you listen. You'll see it in the video. The light of the screen is bouncing off of it.
I can see it on my screen, so I don't know what it looks like on your end.
Yeah, the subscribe pot was basically completely knocked out.
I brought props though.
Well, you got any projects you want to update the people on?
Personally, no. For you, this is now the third game with Patreon access to it.
Wait, is that true? What was
you
the
have
first
Oath
one?
of Endo Steel that gets early access. You got Solaris Knights, which gets investors, and now you got.
Wait, are you spending your time repping my show?
What else am I gonna? You can find me on AP's Discord.
Yeah.
Participating in Solaris Knights and Dawn Agreement.
Y'all cast members, you got to stop shrimping, y'all.
What else am I going to talk about?
I don't know.
You can follow me on Twitter where I like and retweet art and stuff.
I could use the other word, but now it's so focused in my vocabulary. I can't stop
Check the
using it.
description below for links and stuff.
It's true. There are links down there now. Big Spoon is even included in the cast this time. No, he's not. No one's included in the cast this time.
I mean, he might
Is
as
he?
well be.
Wait, let me double check. I don't know if I put
Did you
the
do the
cast
thing again
members
where you
in.
just have the same cast member for every show like you did for Solaris Knights for like 20
Jesus,
episodes?
you gotta let that go, man. You gotta let that go. All right, look, I'm ending this now. Have a good
Everyone's
time
Big
zone.
Spoon.